Welcome to Pulp Mortem, the search for a lost literary... You know, I used to have a respectable job. People used to look up to me. Now I'm just a jester for the internet. Well, while we're here, let's talk about the author. Everett Evans was an American science fiction, fantasy, and horror author, born November 30th, 1893, and he died in 1958 at the age of 65. He served in the Navy in World War I, where he met his first wife, though later he would marry science fiction author Thelma D. Ham. Triple E was a science fiction superfan. He was a founding member and secretary of the Galactic Roamers, a member of the Los Angeles Science Fantasy Society, and was president of the National Fantasy Fan Federation, and you get the feeling like he would have joined more if he could. But fandom was not enough for Evans, and he began writing professionally late in life. He wrote under the pseudonyms Harry J. Gardner, H.E. Verrett, and multiple variations of his name. Evans only wrote a handful of novels and perhaps 20 or 30 short stories for the pulps, although he collaborated with E. Doc Smith on Masters of Space, which was released posthumously. Which brings us to Man of Many Minds. You're a disgrace to the Corps! Hanlon cringed at the Admiral's icy stare. You had a good record, Hanlon. A fine future in the Interstellar Corps. Now you've thrown it away. There's no room in the Corps for a cheat. Hanlon blustered. I didn't! You have no right! That'll do! Disgust showed on the Admiral's face as he gestured to the Marines, who grabbed Hanlon's arms and handcuffed him. George Hanlon, you are hereby dismissed from the Interstellar Corps Cadet School. And the Admiral ripped the identifying symbols from Hanlon's uniform. Take him out of my sight! They hauled Hanlon away, disgraced. But inside, he was jubilant. Now his real job of counterintelligence would begin. This book is a spy thriller set in space, maybe without the thriller part. George Hanlon is a telepathic Space Corps cadet who is recruited by a mysterious super spy organization. He is trained, equipped, and then sent out into space to uncover a plot that could destroy the universe.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
He successfully infiltrates himself into a criminal gang, but the leader may be more than he appears to be. Will Hanlon be able to uncover the plot before his cover is blown? Will his telepathic abilities save him or destroy him? Will he be able to rescue these enslaved tree-like aliens before they perish? Will anybody still be reading this after the first 20 pages? Foreshadowing. Slow down, Jake. Slow down. Man of Many Minds was an original novel published in 1953 by Fantasy Press. I own the 1959 Pyramid paperback edition. It is 192 pages and originally cost 35 cents. The cover is by Kelly Freas and it is pulpy. Birds, bees, dogs, aliens, and some bantamweights fighting. In truth, I don't much care for this cover. I dislike the juxtaposition between styles here. Obviously, our ginger friend here is well painted, but everything else looks and feels rushed. The original hardcover goes for around $25. Any paperback edition is $2 or $3, or you can have my copy for free if you want it. I really like spy thrillers, so when I realized this was a space spy, I was initially very excited. Unfortunately, the promise never made it past the premise. A great deal of this book is Hanlon practicing and honing his telepathic abilities on different animals. Some of them he can control their mind, some of them he can just enter in and feel and see things the way animals do. It was pretty interesting at first. Soon it became dull and, like everything else in this book, a disappointment.
Come on, Eric, you've had your lunch. Now, sir, what's on your mind?
Unfortunately, that's it. And now, the bad. Golly gee willikers, there's some amateurish writing in here. 18-year-old writer Jake, who sucks by the way, mops the floor with Triple E. I've discovered while doing research for this that Evans was actually well known in the writing community for one thing: being a terrible writer.
Emotional, damn it!
I usually enjoy pulpy prose and pulpy dialogue, and that is here in abundance, but it's just so bad. The ultra-secret Space Spy Federation is abbreviated SS. I don't know if I would have named a shadowy paramilitary organization clandestinely operating outside of the moral and judicial jurisdiction the SS. Not back in 1953. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'd name it the SS in 2024. Why do you ask? Oh, because it's called the SS. Poor printing quality. This isn't Evans' fault, but rather Pyramid. It looks like something was loose with the press, or maybe it was dirty, there are ink issues. I mean, I don't know. It could be any number of things. All I know is that I had to guess at some points what was being said. I was kind of okay with this because after about the halfway point, I was just rushing to get through this. The plot is hot garbage. We're talking pure dog water. I don't want to be mean, but this plot feels like it was constructed by a 12-year-old space alien who was held back several vital grades and was probably dropped on his alien head while he was still a pupa.
Yeah, good one.
Hanlon receives the spy instructions that he is supposed to go out into the universe because there are bad guys hatching a plot. It may sound like I am just kind of being purposefully vague or simplifying things. That's not the case. Those are his instructions, verbatim. There are bad guys out there, and we feel like there may be a plot against the universe. And that's literally all the information he's given, which one could argue is no information at all. You know, I got a feeling there's bad guys out there. Really, Sherlock? Really? No shit. So naturally, Hanlon finds the bad guys immediately, but we're not told why they're bad. He doesn't uncover the plot until the end of the book. It's backwards. It's amateur. The thing is, like, talking about it now, that conceptually, that could be interesting if there was a book or a story where the plot isn't revealed until the end and we have other clues or something else that pull us in. You know, it could be, it's intriguing, right? It's very Christopher Nolan, right? That isn't what happened here. Evans thought that he gave us a plot. You know, just go get the bad guys. That's what spies do. Ugh. Well, luckily we had some fun. Speaking of spy stuff, nearly every spy trope was awkwardly glue-sticked on to this Frankensteinian abomination of a plot. I'm guessing Evans read the spy pulps and was like, I can do that. So everything he's read has been smashed into this goofball plot, and the amazing thing, the actual incredible thing, is how none of it worked. For instance, I know we're being sneaky, but spies don't wink. Spies don't wink at each other. Yeah, we're a bunch of bad guys, right? Hanlon is telepathic, right? Yet he still receives his instructions via paper, which is fine, I'm okay with that. But I just find it hard to believe that space spies still need to eat their paper instructions, infiltrate the bad guys, and save the universe. Got it. Enclosed with his message is a tape recording. Listen to it while you are awake. As opposed to when you're sleeping? This one is my favorite, though. You guys know how spies, when they are infiltrating the bad guys are always leery, right? This is a trope. They're always very leery. They're always, all right, we'll take you to see the boss, but you can't know where the boss is, so they will do what? They'll put a bag over your head. You know, can't see where you're going. They did that here, except Hanlon was going to another system at the far side of the galaxy. What address or street sign or landmark can you recognize in space? Not many books can make you wish you had a cyanide capsule hidden under a molar. Did somebody order some action? Yeah! Seeing as he couldn't make the violent fellow listen, Hanlon threw him with a super judo trick and then sat on him. You know, I'm a major fan of MMA, and I can't tell you how many times we see the super judo trick and sit on your opponent move. I mean, all the time. Maybe too much, if I'm being honest. The main villain says ... constantly. Always in the second sentence and the fourth sentence. No matter like clockwork, all the time he says this. This was a dialogue flare that Evan explains he used to show us that the villain was careful, deliberate, intelligent, and chose his words carefully. However, it had the opposite effect, much to my delight. Hanlon suspects that these tree-like aliens are actually intelligent, but they can't talk. So, fortunately, Hanlon was trained in the Space Corps cadets in engineering and technology, so he's able to make a box, and now they can talk. Which makes... Whoa, did you guys hear that? I think half of my brain just shut down. It's not a box that translates, it doesn't have a speaker on it, it's not attached to the aliens, it's just a magic plot box that sits in the corner of the room. So question, do you actually... Oh, there goes the rest of it. Ugh. But how do we know who the villain is? The astute among us will be able to pick up the subtle clues, such as the villain's name being Mr. Philanderer. Oh my gosh. Oh. I rolled my eyes so hard that I scratched the bottom of my brain. You came here for scandal? You're gonna get it. Listen to this. Triple E was a mainstay in the science fiction fandom community for decades, except for a several-year block where he just seemed to disappear. The official story is that he was called up for service during World War II. Okay. However, insiders in the fandom community have revealed that, in fact, Evans was serving time in Michigan State Penitentiary for homosexuality. Now, Evans claims he was framed and points to his extreme masculinity as evidence.
I am not gay.
Okay, who knows? I don't know. I certainly don't know. I certainly don't care. I don't care if he's gay or not. It's neither here nor there. You say you're not gay? Okay, that's fine. However, there was one staple element of spy fiction that was strangely absent from this story. The femme fatale. Actually, now that I mention it, I don't think there were any women in this book at all. Wait, I take it back. There were some dancers on stage once. I remember because Hanlon expressed disgust at their revealing outfits.
Like what you see?
I've been looking for those. You're gonna stretch them out.
But honestly, that doesn't mean anything. There was nothing outright gay in this. In fact, there was nothing romantic in this book at all. In fact, just the opposite. There were several older male role models that Hanlon became really close to. Really close, actually. Like a lot of hugging. A lot of hugging. A lot of touching and squeezing arms, lots of arms around shoulders. Lots of stroking faces.
Ha! Gay!
So what's the verdict? Return to Pulp. As I've said, I love pulpy prose and dialogue. I love silly science fiction, and I even love a car crash of a novel that has to be fun. And Evans has committed the unforgivable sin of being bad and boring. This book has no redeeming qualities. Apparently Evans wrote a sequel to it called Alien Minds. I don't care. Destroy that one too. And that's my review of A Man of Many Minds. You're very welcome. Tell me, have you guys read this? If not, maybe there's another Everett Evans book that I should have read. Sometimes I say silly things. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time with The Winds of Time.